From the studios in San Diego, California, this is Frank Fired Up here on the Mixed Up Sports Network, live on this Monday, August 15th, 2016. Week 1 of the NFL preseason officially complete. Both the Mets and the Yankees win their respective series this weekend. And the New York Giants come home a little short against the Miami Dolphins on Friday evening. But we will get to all that in just a moment here in this shortened show. To start off with the embarrassment that took place in the Bronx on Friday night. I know I said it multiple times. I know we mentioned it on Mixed Up Sports Live, that Alex Rodriguez was playing his last game, supposedly professionally. Now it's looking like it's going to be his last game as a Yankee, on night against the Tampa Bay Rays, in front of a packed house which paid about 3 times what a Friday night ticket would be, just to get a chance to see this guy one last time. And I'm going to say, not only did the Yankees embarrass themselves during this whole A-Rod situation, which is not new to them, because with how, and forget I'm a Met fan for a second, but I mean, the Yankees embarrassing themselves on Friday night, not only, well, they're used to it with how many numbers they've retired over the course of so many years and how many useless monuments are in Monument Park. Not only did the Yankees embarrass themselves on Friday night, they also embarrassed Major League Baseball. Think about this. This is a known steroid user who lied for years. Years. Went on 60 Minutes and lied to Katie Couric's face. Years. About taking steroids. And then not only was he involved in one steroid scandal, he was involved in 2 over the course of 3 years, somehow not failing one drug test. And I said last week, I said it many times last week, that I supported Alex Rodriguez throughout the entire biogenesis situation, which I felt as though was over the top, was absurd, was ridiculous, and unprecedented. Now, you get this. I will give you the RBI single in the first inning. I will give you that all day long. I will give you the satisfaction of maintaining that. I will give you that. What I am not prepared to give you is the standing ovation, the hero's exit, the Yes broadcast, which made me physically sick, the moment in the field, the moment after he was pulled off the field. I will not give you any of that. I'll give you the base hit. I'm not giving you any of the rest of the garbage, because Alex Rodriguez on Friday night got the hero's exit that he did not deserve. He did not deserve to go out the way he went out. And a lot of people are going to look at him as a liar and a cheater, and they are 100%, they are 100% correct to do that. They are 100% right to do that. They're 100% justified. Where they are not justified is the garbage that we saw on Friday night. 45,000 idiots standing for a known cheater and a known steroid violator. This is a guy who 2 years prior was ignored by the locker room, was disowned essentially by the front office, and turned on by the fans. You could not say A-Rod at Yankee Stadium without getting some sort of negative reaction 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden, you're making him out to be the greatest player that ever played or will ever wear the Yankee uniform. You get the standing ovation at the end of the game, which was a joke. You get the one play in the field, which, seriously, one play, what's the point? If you're going to move him from DH to third base, leave him in there for the ninth inning. There's no point in leaving him in there for one play. And then you get that blowhard Michael Kay. Oh, it's his last time making a catch from a getting a ball from a catcher on a strike. Who cares? Only player to hit 150 home runs with 3 teams. How many of them are clean? Tell me that one. As if his home run numbers mean anything. Then you get his family. Can you get his 2 daughters coming on the field? Because why not add a storybook moment to this? Sham. His 2 daughters went on the field. I gave up. Girardi getting emotional in the clubhouse. Oh, give me a break. You didn't want to hear his name 2 years ago. All he's done is hit 204 and done nothing the last month. And now, oh, it's poor A-Rod. He's leaving. Oh, my goodness. Come on, really? Give me a break. And now because Giancarlo Stanton's gone, now the Marlins are thinking about getting him. Where's he going to play in Miami? He's not physically fit enough to play third. He can't play first. There's no way in hell he's playing in the outfield. What the hell is he going to do? You're going to put him in the roster as the first ever pinch hitter? Come on. Oh, well, he admitted to using steroids, so we lied back. He lied about it for 6 years, and I got caught up in another scandal. You figure after the first time you learn. Not A-Rod. Come on, really? It's the guy who the Yankee front office was fuming when he showed up to spring training last year early. The team wanted nothing to do with the guy 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's the greatest player to ever don the uniform? I don't care that he won the 2009 World Series. Where was he in 2004 when the team was collapsing around him? And the reason why they brought him in. Where was he in the mid-2000s when the Yankees weren't making the playoffs? Where was he then? 2009 rolls around, they bring home a World Series ring, had nothing to do with A-Rod, and now all of a sudden, that's his legacy. No, his legacy is steroids and deception. That's what his legacy is. Whether it be with Seattle, Texas, or New York, or maybe even Miami, that's his legacy. Steroids, biogenesis, and deception. If this is the guy who did it clean, if this is the guy who did it the right way, you know what? I wouldn't have had a problem with Friday night. He didn't do it clean. He didn't do it right. Friday night was an embarrassment. And the nerve of some people to say that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Say he belongs in the Hall of Fame. No. You can't put A-Rod in and keep Bonds, Palmeiro, Clemens, Canseco, Sosa. You can't leave them all out and put A-Rod in. It's either none or all. It doesn't work that way. And the people who vote for the Hall of Fame have already said their worst fear is voting somebody in and then finding out later he did steroids. Because then they can't kick him out. I don't care that he never failed a test. He is admitted to taking steroids. He was the face of the biogenesis scandal. This is not a guy who did it the right way. This is not a guy who did it clean, and I support him through biogenesis. For him to get essentially a year and a half and Braun to give himself an extra 10 games on his 50-game suspension because, oh, I should have gotten it before. You know what? You're no better. On Friday night, the Yankees and their fans embarrassed themselves and Major League Baseball by giving this guy the hero send-off that he did not deserve. Then they have 5 cameras around them getting third base dirt after the game. Give me a break. Give me a break. That whole night was absurd. From the ticket prices to the Yes broadcast, which was sickening. I had to listen to the game on mute. I had to watch the game on mute. I don't even want to know what the FAN broadcast was. Sterling and Waldman were probably crying. It's not that far a stretch for Waldman. She was crying when Bernie Williams played the national anthem on his guitar. For God's sake. Embarrassed the team, embarrassed the fan base, and embarrassed the sport. Honoring and putting on a pedestal a known steroid user and cheater. That is what the Yankees did Friday night. And it embarrassed the sport to no end. We'll get to the rest of the weekend at Yankee Stadium. We'll get to the weekend at Citi Field and the Giants when we return back after this. Don't go away. You're listening to Frank Fired Up on the Mixed Up Sports Network. All right, we're back fired up here on the Mixed Up Sports Network. Yankees and Mets both come away winning their series 2-1. Mets did lose on Friday night in the most embarrassing of ways, giving up 4 home runs, including a first-inning grand slam and 2 home runs to Rob Schempf of the San Diego Padres. They did come back. They were down 8-2. They did come back, but by that time it was way too late. Padres ended up winning that game 8-6. Mets ended up winning 3-2 on Saturday in extra innings, and won yesterday 5-1 on a no-hit bid by Steven Matz into the 8th inning, when he was clearly done. They kept him in, and the second he gave up that hit to Alexei Ramirez, Terry Collins pulled him. For the Yankees, of course, the win on Friday night. Saturday night, they come away with an 8-4 win behind Masahiro Tanaka. That, and yesterday coming away with a 12-3 loss. And I mean, if there was any more reason to put Luis Severino, and I understand he came back up because of an injury, but if there was any reason to keep Severino down in the minor leagues, yesterday was the reason. The guy's now 1-8 on the year with a 7.19 ERA. He's not improving. He's not improving. I understand the Yankees want him to be something, but he is not